Well, I am going to draw a little cosmic ghost rider tonight. Hello. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I know it's been a minute. I've just been trying to kind of pull things together a little bit. I had a bit of time, like, because I had my surgery. I didn't know how long I'd have to recover from that, and given that like it took a little bit of time, I didn't have I didn't have enough like work planned out because I wasn't sure how much I'd be able to take on. So I didn't like line up a lot of clients. So I just kind of was scrambling a little bit in the past couple of weeks to get some stuff set up because I like wrapped up my Diablo work, and then I was just thinking like, oh no, I have this whole chunk of time that I didn't schedule anything. And that's the first time I've really had that issue in years, which is a good issue to, I mean, it's a good issue to not have. So I'm glad that I haven't had to deal with that too much, at least not since I was like young. And I had to basically get a bunch of stuff pulled together pretty quick. But everything's good now. I have a good amount of things lined up in the schedule, so I'm just kind of working through it all, which means I have like a decent amount of stuff to catch up on. But I'm really happy with my current process. At least I've really worked that out. If you're a patron, you should check out the post I did of the latest like Spider-Man painting, like the walkthrough. That process is like one of my favorite processes I've like ever done, and it's so consistent. Like, I've had like fairly decent ones before that I liked, but this one I feel has the best output in terms of like consistency. Like it can kind of do, I can do like whatever with it fairly quickly. Like that Spider-Man probably took me all of like 4 hours. Is there a Ghost Rider print available? No, I don't have one available, I don't think. I had that Ghost Rider cover I did a while ago. Um, that I don't think I ever had that up for purchase. Maybe I do. Maybe if you go to my imprint page, you'll find it. But I started doing work with Marvel again. I just been wanting to do it, but I never had a process that like made sense for it because my covers, they weren't taking me like super long before, but long enough where like financially it didn't make sense. But I go back and forth on that stuff because even though you take a hit working in comics financially, in terms of like the publicity that you get from it, we're doing like really popular characters that are cool, it's like that pays off on its own. And I can, share that stuff on Patreon, and I can sell prints of it. So I'm going to take advantage of that and just get like a bunch of new characters done in this style, which I'm pretty excited about. You have 4 copies of it and it's your wallpaper. Hey, I'll put it up if it's not up already. I thought it was, but I mean, I thought I had it up at some point. I don't know if it is right now, but yeah, I liked that cover a lot. That was one of my favorites. You have to wait and see what I'm doing now for Marvel. Nice thing about Marvel is the turnaround time is pretty fast. Potentially doing work for Marvel Tokon? No, I'm not that guy. I wouldn't want to do that. The thing I like about working on Marvel stuff for like comics and covers is that I can do whatever style I want. If I had to do that like kind of quasi anime look, I don't know. I wouldn't be crazy about it. I don't like hate the look or anything, but I want to do my own thing. Okay, cool. Muting my screen, which means the screen's gonna go black for a second, just so that you don't see any of the other work I'm doing. So let me do this. What's my favorite superhero? Besides the obvious ones like Batman and all that, I think Ghost Rider, Venom, maybe who else is cool? I mean, like, I kind of wander away from superheroes after that. I move over to, like, other things. Like, I'll like Guyver and that sort of stuff. Alright, let's do this. There's my pencil brush. There it is. Okay, and I'm going to start doing the next pass over this drawing. I left the screen black so you couldn't see all my other stuff that I was working on that's hidden in NDAs. I've done Spawn a few times, but I didn't work on any Spawn comics. I haven't done Spawn in a long time, though. So don't go looking for it. It's not going to be very good. Do we know if the traditionalizer is Photoshop only? No, it's Clip Studio too, but I mean it's mostly like I would say it's mostly beneficial in Photoshop for like the full extent of what you wanted to do. But you can kind of like go through his process of applying it in either Clip or Procreate too. He's talking about that thing I was using on my Spider-Man to make it look traditional. I was using, I wish I could remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but the guy who made the Traditionalizer 2.0, I was following his steps from purchasing that little, I don't know what you'd call it. It's just the way of working, I guess. But yeah, it's like a bunch of different textures and things that you put on top of your image to make it look traditional at the end. It's really cool. But that's how I got that effect in that Spider-Man painting at the end. I mean, you still need like good bones of the image to make that look good, but if you have the good bones, then having the final come out like that with the nice textures is really something that I'm always looking for when I'm working. I like things to look more handmade and real and tangible. Hello. What did the Wolverine movie poster do for your career? Did you get more clients after? Did your prices get higher or anything else? It was definitely like a big moment for me. Like I had my work in Times Square, like on the big old screen and on a billboard, all that stuff. It's like, and then that poster was in all the movie theaters, well, all the IMAX theaters at least. Um, yeah, that was really something. I got a ton of interest to do that sort of thing, and I kind of did it again, but not really. I mean, there's just not a huge market for painted posters in a, like a real use case sort of way. So even though I was like happy with it, and everybody that was involved was pumped on it, it's like it just kind of was whatever. Like it didn't really lead to too much in the way of movie posters. But that's understandable because that space doesn't really exist anymore. The thing that always got me anything of like, where I wanted to go or some new angle, like I always did that just kind of like on my own, to be honest. Like, just to give you an example, like I've been working for Blizzard for the past going on 3 years now, and I got that job because I just asked for it. Like I kept on doing, like before Diablo 4 came out, I was doing a bunch of just Diablo 4 like adjacent artwork. And I would tag Blizzard in it, and I would tag the people working on it in my images, and I'd just say like, "Hey, I want to do this." And I was hoping that anybody would give me a job. And they ended up finding work for me to do like posters that were going to promote the game, and then I just knew like all I needed was an in. I needed just somebody to give me the green light to work on something. And that's always like in my head, that's always what I'm thinking is just let me in the door. If you let me in the door, I'll do a really good job, and then I know that like I'm going to keep getting work cuz I just have enough experience having done it a bunch that I just know I can deliver. And that whole that whole kind of like build up to like doing the fan art at first and then getting the attention of the client and then grabbing that like little spark there and then growing it, that's really my like number one way of creating new opportunities of my own. Just, you know, nobody's going to give you anything. You just have to take it. You got to like make it for yourself, and then once they give you that shot, you have to kind of knock it out of the park. That's how it's always worked for me. So some stuff like, yeah, you do the Logan poster or whatever else, and that'll get you something, but it's what you do for yourself that really drives your whole career. People don't really give you too much, and you can't live for too long off of just like a couple good images, especially not now. Like everything, you know, you just have to constantly be making stuff. Like I never take breaks and stop making things. Like if nobody's paying me for anything, I'm making something anyway. I've never waited for anybody to give me a job. I just make it happen on my own, and hopefully there's somebody there waiting to hire somebody like me. Steven Zapata says hello. Hey, Steven. I remember once, I think at CTNX, someone was talking about how he was essentially part of the only group studios that they went to for movie posters. I mean, I worked on movie posters before I did the Logan poster, but I was just doing compositions for photography. That was it. So I've been in that world, but you know, it's not it's not that cool to me. I'm not crazy about it. I like doing everything, so I'm kind of jack of all trades sort of guy. Like I'll work on anything, whatever gets me like excited is what I'm aiming for. Exciting that Laserhawk is back. Yeah, I'm excited to see him back making music again. Garrett, old buddy. I haven't talked to him in forever. I haven't talked to him too much since he had kids. How do you draw so fast with such precision? I mean, this is all I do. So if it seems like I'm doing something crazy, it's just because I do this constantly, all day, every day, for 20 years. It's the only thing I do. To me, it'd be crazier if I couldn't do it at this point. I'd be like, God damn it, why did I spend so much time doing all this shit? What was all that for? Like, I better be fast and accurate. Have I ever drawn with my feet? No, it's disgusting. Okay. All right, I'm going to close my screen again and then open up again and clip. And then we will go from there. Do I ever try cold calling? Have I had any success? Yeah, I've had success that way. I mean, I have it in the sense that like let's say like just recently, I was talking about because of my surgery not having a bunch of work lined up like I normally do, so I had to make that happen. In that case, I had to email a bunch of people and just be like, "Hey, you need anything?" Do you have work all the time? And if you don't, how do you make a living? Thankfully for me, I've just been in this so long that I have work pretty much all the time. But, I mean, you're talking to somebody who's worked on like so much stuff at this point that I've done just about every job you can do in this industry. So I have enough contacts kind of everywhere where like I can just reach out to like any number of people if I need it and get help there. And that's like I was saying before, that's just because I had done 20 years of constant work, like working every day for 20 years straight on any number of properties and things. So thankfully, I've built enough of a foundation where I don't have to think about it. What I'm doing right now is just clean lines with this Clip Studio watercolor brush. What was the surgery for? Yeah, hernia removal. I'm doing it was like to get the mesh in place, you know, when you have a hernia, keep my guts inside my body. Oh, nice, Waitman. You should if you can um send me that. I'd love to hear that time capsule. Do they take out the mesh? No, they don't. It just stays in there. Yeah, hernias can get gnarly. Somebody was saying it looked like Total Recall with it hanging out of the body in a video they saw. Mine wasn't that bad. Mine was just kind of annoying. But if you don't take care of them, they can get bad. The only way to get rid of them is to get surgery. It kind of sucked because I had to spend so much money on the surgery. You know, I've just never had anything like that before. And I went and I was able to get insurance and stuff, and I was happy for that. And I was like, I don't know how much this thing would have cost if I didn't have insurance, because with insurance it cost me like basically like $7,000 all said and done. I was like, Jesus. Do you do skulls from memory at this point? Yes, I'm not looking at anything for this, if that's what you're wondering. I don't have to look at a skull. I mean, it's not like it's going, like, if I don't look at the skull, it's not going to be as accurate as it could be, but close enough. We're not trying to be photoreal here. Oh, cool, Waitman. My hernia just happened. My hernia was like, oh, I didn't have one, and then I picked something up in my garage, and then I had one. And it felt like I pulled a muscle or something. But I guess 1 in 3 guys get it and have to get surgery. So it's coming for some of you. I have the same watercolor brush as you right now, Dave, but the texture is making the cursor huge and I can't really see what I'm doing. How do you kind of hide it? I don't know. That might be your pressure sensitivity sort of thing. I'm not sure. Because or are you talking about like the actual cursors there all the time? Yeah, I changed mine to the little dot. I don't actually see my brush. I can't tell you right off the top of my head how you change that setting in Clip. But you should change that setting in Clip. The thing that I dislike about Clip, and it's not a big deal, but you just saw it for like a second there if you were watching, when your computer starts to chug when an image is really big, sometimes it will like flash the mouse cursor in place of the the brush, and that drives me crazy. That will like fuck up my whole workflow. Like I have to start turning stuff off because I go crazy. I'm like, please stop doing this. What the hell is that? It's starting to do that to me right now, which is weird because I'm not running a bunch of stuff. You should be pretty chill with what I'm doing. Clip. Piece of shit. Was wondering, how do you slot Clip Studio Paint into your workflow? Is it because it just feels that good to draw in? Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I also like, sometimes I like rendering in it. I don't know, depends the mood I'm in. If I don't care that an image looks super realistic, then I'll render in Clip too. I just really like the feeling of it. I feel like I'm being more productive when I use Clip Studio, or just more efficient. No, painting in this is great. I did a ton of my paintings. If you look at like all my Evangelion paintings I did, or like my Berserk stuff, or my big old like Castlevania paintings, like all of that was done in Clip. Like almost entirely. Do I do the text bubbles in Clip? No. I actually do all of that in Photoshop. Was your big Mega Man artwork all Clip? I think so. I always think I can skip this step, and then whenever I skip it, I hate myself. Because these lines just look so much better for transitioning into a painting that I always got to tell myself, yes, you're redrawing it again, but that's fine. It's going to save you so much time in the painting process. Having a good drawing is everything. Good drawing will carry you through so much bullshit. Coming up with a great drawing actually saves time when it comes to rendering and painting. I always feel like avoiding spending time in the lines. For the type of drawings, I mean, for the type of paintings that I want to do, yes. It's not for everybody. Like, not everybody works that way. But a lot of times before I do a drawing, I will do like a mock painting first so that I know that the forms are reading right and I kind of know where my drawing will end up. So then once I have that down, I go in and I do this on top of it. And then I have, you know, the whole thing ready to go. Depends on the type of artist you are, though. You know, I know plenty of artists that are really good and just do like impressionistic stuff. But that's not my way of doing it. I don't enjoy working that way. I feel too out of control when I'm working that way, and it's just not enjoyable. And I also think that if you have the ability to draw really well, then your impressionistic paintings come out better anyway, because you already have a strong foundation in drawing, that it's easier for you to do the looser paintings and get everything right, or at least the illusion of everything being accurate. This painting, I mean, this music stinks. I gotta change it. What are they trying to do to me with that repeating synthesizer sound? It's devastating. Did I ever paint in big shapes or always line work? I did big shapes a lot, but I just, as much as I liked how things could inevitably come out, I always found that because I had blind spots in my drawing ability, that the big shapes and all that didn't really matter too much, because I always end up at a similar solve for the end. I end up leaning towards like a similar way of like fixing my issues every time. And I realized that I just needed to get better at drawing. Like, I'd be able to sell a certain look in my images better. Like, oh, it always had to be like this type of like angled look with all these different like lighting tricks and things like that to make it look good. And I was doing a bunch of rigmarole to not just do a good drawing. Oh yeah, I worked on that Spider-Man game. That was fun. I hope that I get to do some other things in that lane because I enjoy that type of work. I mean, I have been working on like video game concept art on and off for a while, for like years now. Like I think over the past whatever it's been, maybe 6 years, I've had two really long-term concept art jobs. It's funny that you do that sort of thing and then you just, get the life cycle of a game. It's like it takes so long for something to come out that, you know, it'll be a while before anybody sees any of that. Go bug them about the Wolverine one. Eh, I'm not I'm not dying to work on anything like that. I I'm more interested in doing like new stuff, and I don't mean new stuff like Wolverine's old or something like that. I just mean something that isn't established already. Like I want to be on the ground floor of like designing new characters and having like a whole process of figuring out what the world's gonna be like and that sort of thing. Those are my favorite jobs. If you were to design a live action Batman, would you put him in armor or one of the classic spandex suit? I don't think I would do either of those. I don't think I would go with like straight up spandex, but I would definitely do something more along the lines of like Detective Batman. I know that that's more what they did with like the most recent one, but I would do like a older kind of feeling of Batman fighting like mob bosses and stuff, and have him being a little less decked out and crazy. Honestly, if anybody watches Dan's stream, you probably won't find this, but if you were to go back, I don't know, maybe it's been like a couple weeks or something, or I don't know how long it's been, but we ran through a whole script of our Batman idea, which I think is genuinely good. I'd like to do that. That would be my Batman. I don't want to spoil it on here though. The more I thought about it, the more I went, oh, that is a good idea. We should do it. Okay. There we go. You have to see if you can find it. I'll send it to you, Riley. It was a good idea. Okay. Now I gotta figure out how I want to light Ghost Rider. I don't want to just do like underlighting or anything. Maybe I do. I like looking at how other people tackle it and see if I'd like the way it would actually look is kind of shadowed mostly. That one's funny. I'm I'm not a huge fan of the glowing eyes. That's funny. Yeah, maybe like a dark front of the skull. I think that's probably the best solve for it. Alright, I gotta black out my screen again and pop it right back into Krita. And then we'll do the shadow layer, which is gonna be the thing that really starts to pull this together. That'll be nice looking. So we're done in Clip Studio. I still use Clip Studio sometimes for like full renders and whatnot, but I just haven't been doing it lately because I don't know, it's like a certain type of look I have to do in there that I'm like more excited to do, more like anime or something. All right, so set this to multiply. Okay, now I can start blocking in those shadows. So what I do with this really is just set up one primary like core shadow, and then I do the rest as like a layer filling in everything else underneath. So I'm gonna treat the firelight kind of like it's coming behind the skull. Have I ever tried doing animation? Yeah. Not like particularly successful, but I've played around with it. Like if you look up my, like on YouTube, on my channel here, you can find my like Starveil animation tests and that sort of thing that I did a long time ago. Those were all just Photoshop frame by frame drawn animation. I don't know if you can tell by the sound of my voice, but I need to take a shower. I don't know if my voice sounds like I smell like shit, but that's what I feel like right now. Is this gonna look cool or not? It's hard to light it just in like that front bit. Well, let's just commit, see where it goes. Maybe it doesn't look cool, we can always relight it. It's usually when things feel a little bit like, I don't know, that's gonna be cool or not. I feel like I've learned enough to be like, alright, just keep going. You'll probably find something there because you feel a little uncomfortable about it. It's probably gonna be okay. Yeah, if you guys don't already know, Wigglewood in the chat there, you should go watch all his stuff. Those are so good. I like the latest one, Riley. It was really funny. I'm glad that you're just like gonna keep on going and going with those. You know what I didn't do with this that I've been doing? I was laying from that traditionalizer set that I downloaded. I was laying in like a canvas texture on an overlay over top, because there's this ugly digital look that happens in Krita when you're drawing with those sketching chrome brushes. And when you have the canvas texture on a layer above the drawing, it looks like pencil, and it's awesome. And I started doing that because I don't know why it's so impactful that like in my brain it just looks like pencil, but it is. So happy to have found that. It really changes the whole drawing experience for me. Oh, cool. Thanks, Waitman. Is that canvas layer on now? No, I forgot to do it. I was kind of in a rush to get the stream going and I forgot about that part. It's fine. I mean, I still like the way this is coming out, so I'm not worried about it. But I have been doing that on my stuff and I really like it. I'll show it next time. Okay, then I'm gonna do another pass like that, but just for the rest. Do I have a go-to DPI? I'm just using 300 DPI with the image itself set to like 6,000 pixels by 8,000 right now. That's like that's close to like the range I'll go for everything in size. I'm just used to that because I work in mostly like marketing imagery, so everything needs to be pretty big. Sorry, I'm not talking right now. I'm just thinking about this lighting. I'm more or less like, sometimes when it starts like slowing down where my brush isn't moving very quick. I mean, it's usually only if I'm on stream, I guess, because normally it doesn't do that so much. But oh, the thing of holding me back by going a little bit slower, I'm just like, oh my god, go! Like I don't get like road rage in life, but I'm getting road rage right now in art. I just want to yell move at the screen. Look it go! Krita can chug a lot. It's mostly like the really large brush sizes for me. But most of the time it's fine. At least on my computer, but I know that is one of like the common complaints for it. Okay. Oh boy. Please don't chug this whole time. Hello from Vietnam. Hello. Speaking of Vietnamese stuff, I want to have some chien mui. That would be nice right now. I'm not gonna gray out the whole thing because that would be annoying. Be honest, Dave. How are you just the goat? I mean, I'm not. Teach his own, you know? If that's how you feel, it's fine. I'm still trying to figure stuff out. Please just render. Fuck. Go, brush. All I want you to do is simple shit. And I should just bring this over into Photoshop at this point. I'm already close enough. You just do the rest there. My girlfriend and I went to get late night pho the other day, and it was the best broth I ever had, but there was so much sodium in it that my eyes were swollen when I woke up. I will go there again. My God. Couldn't have been that good. Couldn't have been that good. If your eyes were swollen shut, that could just be, I mean, and I don't want to be racist or anything. That could just be the effect of Asian food. You know, God, Heavenly Father above, please forgive me. Okay, now let me do the fill layers after this. All right, I'm popping over, muting my screen. And open it up, Photoshop. Now, the only gamble that happens at this point is that there's the potentiality that Krita has corrupted this file. Do we know? Well, let's see. Maybe the file has been so corrupted I can't use it anymore. That's the only other thing Krita messes with me with. That's it. Nope. We're good. Alright. Here we go. Okay. Now I can continue. Let's finish my fill layers and move on. Okay. All right. So then I take another brighter color and I just do the rest of the kind of mid-range values. Or that. And I'm gonna go and do the skull as its own thing because the skull has so many specific kind of like lighting effects to it that I don't want to be adjusting that a bunch. So let's do that. Which character is this? It's Cosmic Ghost Rider. And lastly, I can do the colors in here. Fire that's going to be in here. I should probably just do that fill and then just do a clipping mask or something, or just lock the layer. Alright, so we can do that. No, I wasn't excited to really do any Cosmic Ghost Rider. I just got an option to do a Cosmic Ghost Rider for like a future Marvel comic thing, so I just figured I might as well do something cool with him. Try and play around with the character. Could be a fun experiment. I like the idea of the helmet being completely engulfed in flames, you know? That's a cool look. Okay, now I can do some more build up in here. Adding texture and value in this locked layer. else am I doing? Okay, there it is. Sorry, I'm just being quiet because I'm thinking about the lighting and stuff, so just gonna have to be a little patient with me for a minute until I have stuff mostly sorted. Okay. It's coming together. Just trying to make all these values read well. That's my main focus. All right, you're not going to hear from me for a couple minutes. I'm going to mute my mic and just go into full-on render mode. Okay, I'm back. Hello. Dave, I remember you mentioning a while back you weren't a fan of gradient maps. What changed your mind on them? More or less just like the application. Because for a long time I was just not like crazy about the grayscale approach. And I didn't feel like I had a decent grasp on it, so I wasn't like, you know, really excited to paint this way. But since then, I found like a few different ways of doing it that I really like. So that's more or less what happened. Is I just found my own way to it that I enjoy. And I don't use it as like an end really. It's just sort of a place to establish like a base, and then I just start rendering like you see here on top. That's really it. At the tallest end, this canvas is like 8,000 pixels by 6,000 total, so it's that. Do you ever correct and fix mistakes or give advice to newbie artists? Um, I don't do a ton of like paint over stuff, but I definitely give advice. How long have I been painting on my current Cintiq? Few years now. I think I've been probably painting on this for 6 years. I just have one of the shitty like pro models that has all the issues with the like pixelation, like all the dead pixels on the screen and stuff, so it doesn't hold up great, I'll tell you that much. My kids will come in here when I'm working and they'll be like, look at all the rainbows on your screen, yay. So I'm sure the newer like pro models are improving on that, I hope. I haven't tried them yet. Yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here and just answer a couple more questions. Why do you switch from Krita to Photoshop when coloring? I just like it for different reasons. Each one has their own benefits. Okay. see. Do I make any traditional paintings? I have in the past. I haven't in a long time though. Thanks. Thanks, Riley. And once I have like a decent amount of values in the body, it'll start coming together. I just kind of started doing the gradient map stuff because I just want to see how it would look. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here. Thanks so much everybody for hanging out. If you want in-depth breakdown of kind of what I just did, I put one up on Patreon for anybody who's a patron. If not, you can check out, patreon.com/Dave Raposa, and it's the latest post. It's just a whole write-up on it. But yeah, brushes and everything's in there too. So thanks everybody for hanging out. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you next week. Same time.